So we completely de-winterized the camper and now we need to make new tabletops. So we're going to use this piece of wood. I can do 2 tabletops with it, which is perfect because they'll also be used as the dogs are upset. They can hear me, but I'm in the basement. They're upstairs. But anyway, this will be the 2 tabletops that Josh and I can both work on. And then when we're not working in the camper, we'll use the tabletops as the kind of platform for making the whole bed out for when we want to go into sleep mode. So let's start that. So the biggest thing is going to be kind of tidying this up and then basically making a thing to set the wood on so I can cut it. I don't have like the, what are they called? Horse something. I don't know. The things that sit like this that you put the wood on that you would normally use. I don't have those. So we're going to do what we do best and just jimmy rig something up. Move this scrap wood back. We pulled off these doors from our kitchen, which you've already, if you haven't seen that video, we just decided to leave them off. So I'll just use these as my little lever, give us some space off the ground so that way I can actually make the cuts. And let's do 1 and 1 actually.
Well, wouldn't you guess it? My camera audio is plugged into the completely wrong jack. So most of this video is really just going to be me making these tables for our camper. And I really wanted to kind of take this opportunity of having to do a voiceover to just kind of talk about what's been going on with us lately. And this video that you're seeing is actually a few weeks old, and the reason is that if you've been following on my TikTok or my Instagram, our 9-year-old golden retriever went in for a checkup on his ACL mid-July, and he got all good, basically soft activity for the next month, and then he was good to go. Well, then 2 weeks went by and he started throwing up a lot. He wasn't keeping food down for almost 24 hours. So we went to the emergency vet because dehydration can be life-threatening in animals. And he was definitely dehydrated, and he spent an entire day from 10 a.m. to about 7:30 at one hospital. And then they told us there's a blockage in his stomach, and they basically were waiting all day with IV fluids, hoping that it would move or he'd be able to pass it himself. And it didn't move, so we had to basically go pick him up at 7:30 at night and drive 3 hours to a specialty surgeon, which happened to be we asked them to recommend the same place who did his ACL since we felt so comfortable with them. And so we drove 3 hours to the surgeon that we were just at to get approval to play. And they basically were able to check him in around midnight and put him on some sedatives, painkillers, and IV, and basically said the ultrasound tech in the morning would give us more information about his blockage in his stomach. And we got a call around 9 in the morning saying that he did good overnight. No ultrasound tech yet, but just didn't want us to worry about, how he was doing overnight. Which, absolutely love this vet for doing that, because we've been to a few emergency vets with our animals, and the absolute care and compassion they have and understanding of the owner's stress as well as the pet stress was just amazing. And then we decided, okay, well, he's good. He's basically stable, nothing crazy. We get a call 2 hours later from the ultrasound tech saying that they didn't see anything in his stomach or his intestines, but there was now stuff in his colon. So whatever blockage he had, he was able to pass by himself. And that was the absolute best case scenario. It was still around $5,000 between both of the vets, which was just insane because we already spent around, I think, 8 or 9 on his ACL surgery. So we're rocking around $14,000 on our credit card and care credit to take care of our sweet dog. And with all of that stress and with all of that cortisol, this is just kind of the perfect project for me to work on to recenter and reground myself, because I don't think I've ever experienced that gravity of stress and fear and trying to hold on to hope. And amongst it all, at the first vet, just to add an extra layer, was that our car started leaking oil and everything was closed because we found out after 5:30. So we had to drive 3 hours on a car that we were praying did not break down on us. And it was an event that I hope I never have to go through again with any of our pets. But back to the tables. The tables are basically just really nice 3/4 inch wood. I really tried to sand them really well so that way our camping and working on and I really wanted to do as much as I could with my hands, because there's just something about working with my hands where it feels 1,000 times more rewarding. And the only thing I can compare that feeling to is basically just going back to high school, when you had to actively put in the work and the effort in your own body to be ready to compete. And now with technology and AI and social media, I don't really get that opportunity very often. And that opportunity isn't even a good word, because I can totally work out and do that. But I guess an opportunity to slow myself down and really be present in my body. For whatever reason, doing house projects is the thing that does that for me, because my mind can wander doing everything else. But when I'm doing something like this with stain, where I really am trying to be careful with spilling and things like that, not leaving random streaks, it was just a breath of fresh air for my mental and physical body to just focus on a project, feeling the textures, really paying attention, and just being in super focus was so rewarding. So if you were paying attention to the video clip, you'll see that in a second here, I'm going to admit that Josh was right. And that's because I decided to try to mount the middle bracket that you can see here underneath more to one side versus in the middle, because I thought that would prevent it from hitting the side wall where the fridge is. And I was wrong. I made it worse. So I had to remount it in the center like he suggested, which was kind of funny because I decided to do it to one side just because I wanted to see if it would work, and it didn't. So after this, and I make sure that everything fits perfectly, I don't know what I'm going to say here in the next clip, but I just felt so happy and like everything was falling into place. But the real test is getting the husband's approval, so I get the table set back up because I wanted him to come in and make sure that he liked the placement and that it was going to work, which I knew it was going to, but it's always just fun to show off your little projects once you're done. And I'm so happy that I have him as my husband because he just makes me feel so proud of the work that I've put in. And while I can be proud of myself, it is nice to kind of feel that validation and that pride from your partner. And you'll see here in just a second. I'm just going to eat up all of his compliments. And this is the final look. We finally have our tables, and this is going to make such a big difference traveling wise. And I'm going to see if I can find a good picture of what it looked like last year, and that's going to make such a big difference. So it's just after work. It is 5:57, and Josh is playing video games with his friend, so I decided to bring the dogs out to the camper, and we're just gonna have a little movie, TV, YouTube time together, so that way I can have the volume up, and that way I'm also not distracting from his video game. You go. Go. Watch your toes. Do you remember this? Do you remember this part? Toes again. Sticky cute toes. All right. Now let's do this. Just because I'm a little paranoid about their toes on the pleather. Hey, Cooper, hold on. You're being a baby. Hold on, back up, back up. Hold on. Stay, Cooper. I know. Give me like 2 seconds, okay? Ronan, not being very helpful. Hey, little baby, I'm so in love with you. Okay, come here, go. Yay! Good, good down. Oh, that's so exciting. Don't you put them. Lay down. Good job. Oh, that's it. Good boy. You're so cute. All right. So got that. And now, the one thing I'm missing, I forgot to bring in pillows. So I'm gonna go run and grab that real quick so I have something to lean up against. So one cool thing I got was this pillowcase, which you're like, oh, it's a pillowcase. But I got it to kind of match. I don't think it really, yeah, that's okay, close enough. But basically, instead of getting like a pillow to insert into this, I'm just gonna, when we go camping this next week, we're just gonna use this to stuff all of the blankets and sheets into. And then it's gonna be like a perfect little decorative pillow, but all the bedding's put away. I saw something similar to Amazon, but I didn't really like the fabric, so I just went with this one. I haven't really decided like colors and how I want to decorate the camper yet, because I can really see it going a lot of different ways. But then I also kind of just like not having it decorated because it doesn't feel as busy. And then it's like my ADHD can very much want like really pretty bright colors, but then the other side of me, which like maybe it's just part of being Libra, like I like shit clean and put away, and I like it to look nice, but I also really want the aesthetic to be there. So there's like a little bit of clashing in my brain about that. But the boys seem happy. I have that freaking song stuck in my head, and I'm pretty sure it's from TikTok, but the pretty little baby, I'm so in love with you. When in doubt, 2 girls, 1 ghost every time. And it's 55 minutes long, so perfect. Drag and drop. Make it big, then make it real big. Love it. Very spooky. Okay.
Hi. Hi. So, take it back. This is 2 girls, 1 ghost.
2 girls, 1 ghost. Alright guys, if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching and for being a part of our family. Go ahead and like, subscribe, share, and I'll see you on the next one.